Hey guys, Anthony Laporta Jr. here, in-home fitness and health, all about health, happiness, and success. I'm doing a video for my friend Rocky. Halavsa Glenn, what is up? Mace video, Lisa Jung, Lisa Underwood, bought some maces on my recommendation. They are one of my favorite tools. If anybody wants more information on what's the right mace for you, the weight, the brand, what company to go with, I have used a wide variety of them. I'll fill you in on my favorites and why. Free consultation, let me know. Now, before using the mace, I've done shoulder mobility. So Rocky, separate video / if you ever come here for the free workout, I'm promising you, we'll go over shoulder mobility because that's not only important to the mace work, but crucial to the golf that you're trying to use the mace for. So what I'm going to say, anyone can use the mace for. It's great for everyone, but I'm doing a little bit of specifics for my boy Rocky with relationship to golf. I am a level 1 TPI certified fitness professional. Titleist Performance Institute, in my opinion, has the #1 golf certification hands down. I went to the weekend about 9 years ago at this point. So still fantastic information that I keep my CECs going with that. So here's a mace. It's basically a long levered club with the load at the end, okay? The closer I am to this 10-pound load, the lighter it is, the easier it is to manipulate, and as I get further from the load, the more challenge that we get, regardless of the position of the mace. Now, this video is not going to be about the two primary mace moves, the 360 and the 10-2. It's really the star of what you can do with this, but I really want to do some live coaching with that, as well as each one of those moves should get its own video. So Rocky, come on out. You're going to take me to your favorite sushi place, Tomo. $12 lunch, you're going to get $200 worth of training, $300, see how long you want to hang out. Let's do it. All right, so just to demonstrate, once we have you with the basics, the 360 is basically a push, drop, pull. Push, drop, pull. And you should be able to do this in very tight quarters and not fear hitting anything. The 10-2 is we reverse directions midstream. This is, in my opinion, the harder of the two moves. It is why they use it in the vintage strength games and other competitions. So push, drop, pull with a stop. And now you got to dump it in the opposite direction, bringing the hands down to the belly button. Again, you're coming up almost like a high sword block, falling and pulling. A lot of abdominal work. If you do attempt these, one of the keys is during that downward swing, we don't want to see extension of the back. We don't even want to see extension of the hips the way you would do in a kettlebell sport. We're tightening up the core. So as I make that movement, whether it be the 360 or the 10-2, I am engaging the stomach. Little ceiling action there. So we're going to engage that stomach, and you don't ever want to see it pull you back. Okay? So, Rocky, what can you do? What can anyone do with the mace without really going into a lot of instruction? So something I like to do with this, okay, to work on that mobility, closer to the load, easier, further, harder. If we get all the way out like this is a lot of challenge to my wrist and core. So I'm going to be about, a couple of hand lengths away from the loaded end, and basically we can do a bent over row. This is very light, okay? I can do a clean. I can do a snatch. I can do a clean and press. So just to get used to feeling the mace, work some of those moves in, okay? Obviously what you do on one side, you're going to do on the other. Good for golf, okay? When I get that row, secure your hips and rotate that T-spine. Okay, I'm rotating up to the load, but I can also rotate the load downward. Two different feelings. We want to get some shoulder strength and some shoulder mobility and make this more challenging with the same 10-pound waist. I bring those hands close. we get some presses. If I want to disassociate the upper and lower body, I can do that same press in a tall kneel or a coach's kneel. And that's a lot of work that we can do right there. I can also do, in the kneeling posture, my 360s, which is fantastic. It eliminates all of the leg drive, focuses on the core. So obviously we can do the 10 to 2 as well. You want to be careful if you're going to do it in the tall kneel. Okay? Definitely challenging to do that in our talling kneel position. One more thing that you can work on very simply without a lot of coaching would be grave diggers, or I like to think of them as toss and chop. So I'm going to be in a staggered stance, one leg forward, one leg back. Again, if I'm close to the load, easy, and if I get further, it's going to be hard. So we're going to toss, chop. Long arms, staying tall. Don't let it bend you over. Toss, chop. Toss, chop. Obviously what you do on one side, we get a little closer, you're going to do on the other side. Toss, chop. So what I'm getting here is a lot of mobility through that T-spine and that upper cross X pattern. So when I'm golfing, we're going to be able to deal with that. Also, one of the things you learn with such a heavy load going over, okay, is deceleration. So when you follow through on that golf swing, this is where we have a lot of injuries. We have early extension. We have other issues that golfers would face. But by working with the Mace, we can help not only develop your speed, endurance, power, grip strength, but that mobility and injury prevention. So if I wanted to make this challenging, get into your golf stance, and now I'm going to go with the toss and chop instead of in the split stance, but explosively, where I have to control the actual mace from pulling me, right? So we would do this more powerfully. So when I do that, I'm not letting it extend me. I'm not letting it flex me. I'm tightening the whole core and resisting that action, okay? So those are some of the things you can do. Here's something else we can do. Is just stand holding the mace. This is going to work my grip, okay? And obviously, I can get a lot of shoulder strength, shoulder stability by putting this into different positions that I would like to move it around in, okay? Obviously, this becomes a lot harder, and if I want to kneel, this would make it a lot more on my core. So right here, we're talking a lot of grip strength to do these moves, okay? Another move that's really great and simple if we're not ready to do the 10 to 2 and 360. So I'm doing this kneeling so you can get a better view of it in the video. You can also do it standing. I'm just going to bring the club safely behind me and get this really nice shoulder mobility. Again, I'm not letting it hyperextend me. My abs are turned on. If you have the mobility, you can do it with one arm and just let this hang, stretching everything. But in the two-arm position, what I'll do is I'll get this in a pendulum. So I'm really getting a lot of shoulder endurance in this overhead position and a lot of mobility. You can see from the side here, I'm keeping the club close to me without letting it touch me. And then obviously, it's good to switch which hand's on top, and you can work it there. So, that's a lot to start with. Hopefully you'll get moving with the Mace finally, and you can start to enjoy the benefits until you can get over here. Anybody wants to train with me, I do have a few more maces that I bought. I have a great 10-pound starting weight mace for men and women. It's perfect. And then, you know, like anything else, once you get good enough and you're ready, let's say for a 20-pound mace, there's still so much I can do. I can bring in one-handed movements. You know, I can work a wide variety, and that 10 still becomes very valuable. Drop set to the 10. can do as well. What did I want to say? Oh, you can walk with them too, okay? So, overhead carry. This is very challenging, even with a 10. When I put these two hands together, grip, core, lats, everything is going crazy. So that's another option. We can do lateral bending from this position or from the overhead position. That will all work your core. I can work also just to get some rotation. Gentle, trying to rotate through the T-spine while keeping the lumbar spine locked down. Okay, that lumbar spine should be a stable joint, and your thoracic mid-back should be the mobile joint. Okay, a lot of us cheat and we borrow lumbar mobility for lacking our thoracic mobility, and that is injury central, especially in golf. I mean, the amount of rotational power that you have is huge. And one of the things we did in the TPI course is, you know, disassociating this upper and lower body. So Glenn, you got to get out here, but can you rotate the upper body, keeping the hips silent, and then the more challenging is, can I rotate the lower body? And you just saw some shoulder movement there, but there, if I focus, I can do it, right? So then I can also add the mace to that. Putting the load out to the side, lock down my lower body, and practice that disassociation with a load. Obviously, what you do on one side, we want to do on the other. And that will all help to improve your golf swing. Pretty much any sport that requires rotational strength, power, endurance. So your fighting arts, your tennis, any of your racket stuff. This tool is fantastic. It is one of my favorites. Contact me if you're local, anywhere in the New York, New Jersey area, and we can get together and do like a 3-hour package where I will include the mace. I will include a ton of instruction on warm-up, use of the mace for something particular, or just general fitness and fun. How it can improve all of your other workouts is fun. How it can be a workout on its own. And I also, like I said, I have a few maces left that I can include in that package for you, so you don't have to deal with the shipping costs and waiting for the mace. You show up, we get our groove on, you're going to be healthier, happier, and more successful in just a couple of hours, and you can videotape the whole thing so you know what you're doing down the road. Have at it, guys. Rocky, hit me up.